Okay, it's I got it, what, 5:09 according to the clock over there. If we're ready to begin the meeting, let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we can have a roll call, please.
Sandra Cavazos Ayala.
Present.
Victor Villarreal.
Present.
Rosnio Villarreal.
Present.
Esmeralda Rodriguez. Roberto Ortiz.
Present.
Yes. Angelica Salinas.
Present.
Mario Lopez, not here yet. Absent. Rosa Maria de Llano.
Present.
Edelvina Perez.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, with that, we'll move to citizen comments. I don't think there's any at this time.
No, not at this time.
So the next is the item number 5, reading and approval of minutes from June 26, 2024. I know it's in your packets. Take a look at it.
I see that this is Rio Grande Legal Aid presented at the last meeting. Was there any action taken?
No.
Was there a recommendation for a future item or action?
I do have an update. We have contacted her afterwards, so I have a little report on
Okay.
her.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes for June the 26th, 2024.
We have a motion to approve the minutes as is. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, ayes have it, so then the minutes are approved. Moving on to staff reports, library director's update.
I do have an update on the virtual court kiosk. My staff reference has identified a place for it. We've also talked to Ms. Caitlin Fish. We also contacted some of the other public libraries to see how the usage is over there, where they have it. The main thing is the funding. And also we probably need to, once we get it, we'll need to get together with our IST department to see how we can make it work. So right now, the funding, and from speaking with Ms. Fish, she said that they were investigating maybe getting somebody on city council to pay for it,
Sure.
or maybe an attorney.
Sure.
I mean, not because it is, initially, it's gonna be almost $10,000, but then we have to budget for it yearly, cause there is a fee. It's gonna be $3,300 yearly
So
to subscribe to it.
Ideally, maybe perhaps we can set it on the next agenda, vote it as an action item as a recommendation.
Recommendation.
And then have city council discuss and see if anybody would like to motion and use any, maybe perhaps discretionary funds or something. If a council member has any, and I think, I mean, it's possible, depending on the location.
Mhm.
Who's the council here? The council member?
Was about. So, there may be some interest from several members to want to do it too, so, I respectfully request that it be put as an agenda item at the next meeting. We can vote, discuss, and see what, take it from there maybe.
Yeah, we could definitely do that the next meeting as an action item to vote on, as a, for a recommendation.
To bring it to city council.
It's a recommendation.
Or to ask. And as an employee,
And who would
I would-
ask city council?
yeah, that's,
I could certainly do it. I mean, if it passes as a member of this, board and body, and say that based on the presentation by,
Caitlin Fish.
not Rural Legal Aid, it used to be, yeah, Rio Grande Legal Aid, that, I'll go through the benefits to users, and to the legal community, and answer any questions. And I'd also invite them to also go and answer any questions, but I'll just report out the favorable recommendation and see.
And you can, one-on-one, let them know about it.
I certainly will.
Well, and if we are put on the agenda item for the city, right?
It
Would
is
Robert
not-
and both of them maybe go and Robert as the chairman go and present to
You
them?
could do that, but for the amount, I don't know, usually they don't want anything under $50,000 to go before, but if you could talk to him, at
Anything
least
under?
introduce it, 50,000.
You-
Well, we put an item on the agenda to get funding for it.
So we should ask for 3 or 4.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
gonna say.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing, right? So if it's under, then perhaps
They could use
council
their,
members at other districts may say, I'll put up some funds for the library in my
Mhm.
district, and in my district, and in my district, and say, I don't know.
Does every district have
A
a?
library?
No.
No, it's just discretionary, they use it as they choose.
No, so I was wondering if they had a, then they would say, well, I don't have a
And
library in my
really,
district.
because
Well,
of the
maybe that's problem number one.
restrictions, that it has to be in a private place, not all of them have a place to put it.
Oh,
Yeah, there's the restriction, it has to be private, it has to be away from the public. We've identified the place where we have the microfiche here. We can make room for that to be in there.
I guess maybe I saw something, but isn't it like a voting booth type?
I don't,
think
she
something.
said it was, you can move it around,
Okay.
but I'd like to have
She
it
showed us.
on in a place that it's permanent there. The way we might control nobody else going into that room is by appointment, because I noticed some of the libraries have it by appointment.
So what is the total amount that would be requested?
Right, for right now, 977614.
So about 10
Afterwards, we'd have to find it in our budget to pay for the subscription.
10,000 per year, more.
No, 3375 yearly.
Oh.
We have to
30.
find it, maybe get it out of our book budget
And
and
that's
put it
less
in
than
there.
50. in other
Because
words.
it would be like a database that we pay for.
So 33,000 on the first time, first shot?
No,
No.
96,
and
because
I
we're also
understand-
we're getting the equipment, the kiosk, everything comes in.
No, the initial cost is 10, right?
Yeah, close to 10.
Close to 10, the one-time initial cost for a site.
Mhm.
And then after that, it's 3,300.
3375 annually,
Maintenance.
but, for the subscription.
Okay, oh, so it's 10,000 the initial,
Mhm.
okay.
Because that includes the first year of the subscription.
3,000 or 33,000?
3375.
33.
3,375, 3,000.
3,000.
Yeah.
We just simply would have to budget for it and move some money around and put it.
10,000 the persons.
But initially,
Oh,
we
it's way
don't.
under 50,000. Oh, sorry.
So if you could just start that conversation, and I'll probably get directive. They probably won't even go to council, I'll probably get directive.
Well, I guess that's even better, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't wanna have to find the money.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but it'd be nice, cause I know that some attorneys, sponsor it in other libraries.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's law firms that, you know, that they donate a lot to the community. You see it in the
Well,
newspaper.
the city's doing its budget right now, I think all, the I know
It's
the
too
county
late.
is. Oh,
It's
it's
too
too late.
late.
Yeah, they've
We
already-
start in April,
Oh,
and this year it actually started in March, where we're starting to, Angie knows, cause she enters the numbers in there. We have to have it ready. It's in the process, it's already been approved for October 1st.
So then for next meeting, if it not to council, then what kind of,
A recommendation
Item, a
that,
recommendation,
mhm.
okay.
And then who takes it? Oh, so it won't be taken to the city council per se.
I don't think it needs to.
How
but
would it
should
be
co-
recommended?
By Mr. Riaria to
In
his,
his personally,
Mhm.
but not to address the whole council?
unless they think it's a good idea to have one in it, but like I said, we don't have room in the other branches to put it.
I see.
So maybe like.
Especially
individual-
since it needs to be private.
Talk to them.
Well, you can vote to recommend that, and then whoever represents the other council members, you can talk to them. But like I said, Bruni, I don't think we have a place for it to be private. Moss, we might be able to find one, which is in the south. Faskin, we don't have an office for it to be.
Okay, okay.
And at inner city, there is an office, but right, currently the Veterans Commission is in there. So that's,
Nice. Sounds good.
What I'm thinking is that this is something that benefits the whole community, you know, and this is a central location for it. But
and that's why I would like to, at least
Right,
the
it's a
pilot,
location,
we
yes.
did talk to other libraries
Right.
and it's not really being used, but I'm hoping that we can get used because we're centrally located here.
And but also that some of the council members are up for reelection, so, you know, there won't be a firm commitment until after the results of the election, because they may not be in that position, you know, after November. So that's another consideration, that they may not be there. Some cannot run, or some have 3 or 4 opponents, so it's anybody's game.
And God willing, in the future, a library to the north, make accommodations for something bigger library,
Yeah.
make room for that.
Already, yeah, put it in there.
Yeah.
Well, it's been in there in the CIP for quite a while, but it's something that gets, you know, there's other priorities.
Yeah.
But we can put it as an action item.
Sounds great.
Okay. Anything else under library director?
Yes, you had asked for a zero-scaping program.
Yes.
We do have it scheduled for November 9th, 9:30 to 10:45. And it's gonna be a presentation plus an interactive portion. And it's gonna be done by Jeffrey Hester from the Texas A&M AgriLife. We'll be doing it, and we'll see how that goes, and maybe we can
On
continue
Saturday?
with that. The 9th?
Mhm.
Yes. If it's the 9th,
Ninth
November.
is a Saturday.
Mhm.
He's gonna do a presentation to him.
To the public, to the public.
You said you had someone on staff that already kind of knows?
They did, but they don't feel
Comfortable?
comfortable. Just enough to maybe assist but he's really the expert.
Yeah, well, at least it's, public can hear about it too, because it's
Mhm.
something that, our water worlds aren't gonna solve themselves.
It's not gonna get any better.
They're not gonna get it, so, yeah, definitely need to do a lot more of that than here. Okay?
And then the library sign, the replacement of the one we have out here, we do have one quote, but they're getting real strict where we need to get 3 quotes, so we're still looking for 2 other quotes, and then we'll be able to pick a vendor for it. And next in your packet, you should have the quarterly reports. And this is a summary of all the programs that have been done. beginning April, June, and July.
Yes, 3 months.
If you notice, she's added the audience and then the type of program, and that's because, the state library asks us for that. Who was this program targeted for? Was it live or was it, a virtual meeting? I don't think we have too many of those anymore, but we do have off-site where we go and visit the schools.
So, okay, let's look through the quarterly report. Any questions?
Over at the I'm looking at the checklist.
The
sorry.
checklist.
I'm sorry.
You can look at that too, it's part of, part of
Looking
that.
at the Moss, the exterior library sign, the big one that says Laredo and Moss, it's broken, it's already
It's
cracked.
not broken, there's, you could see a crack, and we've been trying to get the engineering department, because, I mean,
They did.
so, they haven't yet. We've been asking them to go and look at it and maybe give us a suggestion of what we can do.
Mhm.
It hasn't gotten any worse, but it's
it
gotta.
could get there.
Mhm.
And the elevator's already working.
Hallelujah.
Yes, amen.
That same day, but it may be in the afternoon. Yes, but she was only 17, Jackie got really excited about it. So we lucked out on that.
have any questions or comments about any of the monthly checklist or quarterly report? None? No? All right, then we'll move over to the, so did we cover monthly statistics? Is that included in what we just?
That's on the next one.
Okay, all righty. So monthly statistics?
The programs, library programs, and just, those are the flyers. So as you can tell, yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
hitting the ground running now that the summer's over. So you can tell it's a lot thicker than, than the one you got last time.
Yes.
Ms. Solis, who's in charge of your toddlers and your young?
Jackie, here at the
Jack-
main?
yes.
Jack, main.
Jackie, what's her last name?
Flores.
Jackie. Is she here today?
She was earlier. I don't know if it's her evening or not.
Oh,
I think she already left, because I talked to her.
Okay.
will you talk to her? I was invited to say, for toddler time, but it's not here. With the literacy volunteers, Ruth Sombro.
Mhm. I don't think she's gotten back to us on dates or anything.
She said, I got it down as Wednesday, September 18th, from 10:30 a.m.
I'll talk to Jackie. She talked to me about it, but I think she's waiting to hear from Ruth. No?
She called me back and said she had talked to somebody here.
Okay.
That's why I couldn't remember Jackie's name.
Mhm.
And she
I'll
said
ask her.
Wednesday, September 18th at 10:30.
Okay.
Ruth Summerall.
She's not with Literacy Volunteers
No,
anymore.
it's another,
Another yeah, we were waiting to get information on the new organization she's
I
with.
I don't know what, she used to be literacy.
Yes, she did,
I
but
don't know
no.
what it is.
No, it's a new organization. Yeah, we were waiting to find out what.
That is in charge of literacy volunteers.
That one right now, I believe, she's an ex-librarian.
Does she work at the college, right? Or no?
No.
Nobody else?
Yeah, sometimes you have to let him go.
I don't know if there's any, they don't have an executive director, I think they have an acting right now. I think they
Because
have
I've
an
been trying to
acting.
get a hold of them, but nobody answers.
Nobody else, I know, but they, we house them at an inner city, and they're not there all the time.
I was wondering because I told her,
One of my ex-librarians, she used to be an ex-librarian, and she retired a couple of years ago. Flaquita, I'm trying to remember her name.
Do you know what school she was at? Not Calvin? Not Calvin is coming, yeah.
No, not now. I recently texted her about something. It's on there.
Like
And
right
who's
now,
the one that was with literacy
it
volunteers
was,
here? Who's upstairs?
what did she do?
He's, or maybe she's not here anymore. Hinojosa? Marina.
Marina, she's here, but
She's
she
here.
was just a like a
volunteer,
volunteer.
like me.
Yeah,
But there's
yeah.
like the,
volunteer.
the organization who oversees
But
it.
she, yeah, 'cause
I'm trying to
she
think
and
of her
I,
name. What does she do? She is currently working with Literacy Volunteer. I think she's the interim executive director because they don't have one right now. I can see her, but I just
Yes.
can't for the life of me. But she used to be a school librarian. She
Oh, one of our
retired.
school,
Yes.
maybe you should.
That's what, I think it was UISD. I can't, I'm sorry. It's late in the
You
day.
don't remember
I've
what
been-
school she was at?
No. I remember having breakfast with her at one of the conferences and so it's late in the day.
so,
Yeah.
because Marina was
Brain
very
fog.
good. Recommend, she and I were with the Spanish books.
Mhm.
Oh, and this was the Spanish, not the
Mhm.
English, the Spanish.
Mhm.
It was very good, but
Yeah, no, I think
Okay.
they're right now in flux because they don't have a full schedule where they're at the office. And I think right now they're training some of the volunteers.
And do, you don't know, they go out to the schools, or do you have anybody, Robert, from literacy volunteers or anything like that?
Well, it's really for adults. It's not,
See,
yeah,
literacy.
so not really for schools. It's for adults and usually it is ESL classes and citizenship classes.
Yeah, but I know he has sometimes classes for parents and stuff like that, right?
We do, we have some, but
But-
no one's reached out to us.
They're not being maybe so active right now.
Oh, so and the reason I asked is because I talked to her, like 2-3 weeks ago, and I told her, so they could do something for you,
Mhm.
but I don't see it here at all.
Literacy volunteers?
No.
The other group. See, and we're still,
Yeah. Toddlers.
get more
Toddlers.
information about the program. She
And
hasn't
what
sent it
program
out.
is that?
Yes, I know.
I know
Pero
it's
what's
for
her
that
name?
same group.
Ruth Sumrall.
Summerall.
Summerall?
What's that, Mrs. Rod?
S-U-M-R-A-L.
No.
Maureen
No.
Balls?
No,
No.
it starts with an H.
Sumrall.
I can't think of it.
R-A-L.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
When we say Wi-Fi session, does that mean people that come in and use the Wi-Fi?
Yes.
But do they have to register or?
No, it's LPL guest is they can
It's Brand.
Log
Okay,
on.
so if I log in right now, I'm going to count for next.
yes.
Oh,
If you
okay.
log in and connect to our Wi-Fi, it automatically gets counted.
And it's only inside the campus, or does it have?
It used to, you could probably sit outside and get it. You could probably still get it. It's LPL guest is the name.
It's better to come inside with the AC.
Be surprised.
Really?
During COVID, we were closed, we get people sitting out there in the
Well,
grass.
yeah, well.
Are there any other comments or questions about the recent and upcoming library programs and services?
Well, there seems to be a whole lot for everybody.
Yes, I have a very enthusiastic
Yes.
group of librarians now, so
Yeah,
we've
because
got
we have
a
something
good
for
diverse.
older people, something for the
For everybody.
Taylor Swift fans, you know, the, yeah, the Eros Book Club is for Taylor Swift fans there, the Recordando, there are crafts for everybody. You know, several
Art.
book clubs, the Silent Book Club, the Live Fit Book Club. That's wonderful. Then you have Bringing Back One City, One Book.
Yes, I
Are you
like
going to
it.
offer some of the copies of the book here?
We're having a really hard time getting
Yeah.
copies of it. I don't know if it's not in print. We're trying to get some copies from Amazon. And we're gonna have maybe some to check out and maybe some giveaways the day the author is here.
Okay.
But they didn't think of that because County U has it online. You can read the book electronically, but we're having a hard time getting physical copies.
Now you have a lot for teens, which is great. Crafts. is coming out on TV, or not seeing more of the
We
crafts
did see
and
a
the other
story on
ones?
the
Yes.
recuerdos,
Yes.
and that's if they pick it up, but
Yeah.
I also had Annalisa go and talk about all the different book clubs that we have. She was there, she was invited in the morning.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
This One City, One Book is the book and and the video.
Well, the video is like a documentary about the same era.
And you're gonna
Mhm.
show it here.
So we're gonna show it here, that's starting in September. One City, One Book is the following month, I believe on
Yeah,
the
it's
second.
in October.
before.
Carmen Avila is in October.
So the recordando that it's a meeting here?
That is, in the historical collection upstairs. It's gonna be very informal, she's gonna bring out some things that, that we have in the collection and just have them socialize and remember.
Which is what she did when she had a tour.
Mhm.
I expected like a group, and no, she put out a lot of artifacts, and you would just wander around on your own, look at
Within
this,
the-
talk to people, ask her questions. You were not stuck with one group or one thing. You just wandered around at all her different exhibits that she pulled out of the collection. And so you spend as much time or as little time as you wanted. You talked to people, and it was very interesting. She did a very good job.
And that's her main thing, is to
Yes.
let the public know what we have of.
Yes, and people do, they were asking more questions about, things that they remembered and wanted to see more information about, so she'll pull it out of the collection if you're interested.
What kind of artifacts, I'm just curious?
Maps, pictures, articles, books, local interest, because from Luciano Guajardo, he
I
had
remember,
his.
yes.
Yeah, so a lot of that, it's all there by categories. If you want to look at pictures and people that said my family history, you can look it up there, or specific eras here, like during the war, what happened, or,
Right.
like the Jewish community, like they had with the genealogy, a lot. So it's whatever you're interested in, but they have pictures, maps, and,
That's interesting.
all kinds of
Uh,
pamphlets.
Yeah, that's something that I wish would be covered more.
Yeah.
I think over the years, I think Laredo's become in many respects, maybe one dimensional through its culture, right? And yet, they're, like you said, there's different communities that have been here
Mhm.
because of either Fort McIntosh
Yeah.
or
Air Force Base.
the airport, right? All that, so, and it's been a lot, right? And I think we've kind of lost some of that. And people do remember, It's like one of the things I remember for me, it's attending Nye Elementary. I didn't have a Hispanic teacher till 5th grade. They were all wives of the Laredo Air Force Base, or people, and so I remember their names, like Mackenberg and Lundy and all that. I was like, I didn't have it. And that's unique now. You don't hear that anymore. It's just, wow, okay.
And a lot of the local history that, since I'm a history major, Dr. Green, Stanley Green,
Yes.
that he had the students do, interviews, and she has all of that. She has the pamphlets and all that
Yeah.
he published from his students'
donated
work.
all that.
Yeah, she has
Yeah,
that.
very, really unique, but until this really gets remembered, and these are gonna get lost,
Yeah.
these memories, very soon, and those are things that report, I just wish like this particular event would be, she's doing a great job, but I'm just saying like,
Or,
have some more publicity to it or something, because it's something we're going to lose, right?
Is Doris Gonzalez the one in charge?
Mhm.
Is she a new librarian?
Fairly new.
Yeah, but she's very enthusiastic, I've
She's
approached
done a
her for
lot
some of
more
the
than-
Yeah.
She's with
Yeah,
my
'cause
third.
I was in
Yeah.
Galveston and,
Yes, I know her, but she's
a
very
while ago, and they have a trolley system, and I was telling my son, because he was like, Laredo actually used to have trolleys. People don't remember that or know that. We used to have trolleys downtown, and for years, up until maybe the early 90s, or maybe, you could see still the rails, and then they just took them out. Yeah,
No idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, little tidbits.
Laredo is very unique.
Yes.
And.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I wrote my corrido about how we're not not sister cities, but twin cities, because it's the same city.
Yeah.
And it was divided by the
Right.
Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Very few cities were divided.
Right.
I don't think anybody, well, at that time, not,
Right.
not
No?
very few cities are, that we were one.
Yeah, like my daughter, they had to say something about themselves at her new job and everything, and about unique where they're from, because they're from all over the country. And she was like, well, my city had 7 flags. You hear about 6 flags, we had 7.
Yeah.
Right, the Republic of the Rio Grande, right? It's like, yeah, that's unique. We're like, really? Well, yeah.
Yes, and it did exist.
And it did exist. It
For
was very
11
short, but it
months.
existed.
11 months.
11 months, but it existed.
It existed, yeah.
All right. Well, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any other item for the library programs and services? Then we'll move into the monthly statistics. And those are here?
Yes, you'll have June and July, since we didn't have a meeting last month.
These are the statistics.
Yes,
These two.
Did you have a peak this summer compared to last because it was so hot?
It certainly seemed like it. I mean, we had people just sitting in the lobby. I mean,
That's what I figured.
yeah.
It's-
It certainly seemed, upstairs, I would look at the cameras or walk around, all the desks would be taken.
Yeah.
They'd be there reading or the newspaper or just sitting there on their phone.
I mean, it's one of the areas where it beats the mall because you don't have to spend money. You're too tempted to spend
We don't
money
ask
over
you
there.
for money.
Here, you
Come in.
just, you check out a book or read something or, log on, something.
I also noticed Bruni had a lot of people
I bet.
sitting around on their phones or reading a book.
I didn't think it was starting to get cool.
Yeah, see, look,
It
But
sounded
now,
like it was
right
gonna
now.
start raining right now. You can see all the
Yeah.
black clouds, but no rain.
And a lot of wind.
Yes,
Everything was
yes.
going
When I
around.
went outside to the car, and I was very good.
any questions on the monthly statistics?
It's here.
All right. If you want, we can go to item number 7. If y'all are ready for the items for discussion and possible action. Well, one of them is, of course, the recommendation, Judge Villar, is to put that on for the virtual court kiosk, right? As a recommendation on behalf of the committee to the city or to the department. I'm not sure how it would be. with the-
First, we'll approve it here as a recommendation to
And
take
then
it.
see what they ask us for, or us.
Okay. I had a question, only because it's happened I don't know if you saw the article in Brownsville, the public schools and the library. A Christian group, went and asked for, I don't know how many titles to be removed from their shelves, and that's right down there in the valley, right?
Sir.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's it, well, there you go. Yeah, see, right on. A South Texas school that received for 676 books to be removed from their library.
607.
Yeah, this was,
For some
this
schools,
was,
that's
this story
like
came
the
out, I'd say
president.
about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So this is recent. So, and again, I'm not trying to get political or anything, I just, I know I've asked this question before about what is the procedure and policy when people request for something to be removed from our shelves. And I just think that it may be a visitation to that policy, just to maybe explain.
Actually, we just did.
Okay, good.
And this is, I think the schools are getting it worse, school libraries and public libraries, they have other guidelines for purchasing books now.
Yes,
And
very
it's
many.
very,
Yes.
we do have a procedure where we set up a committee to the selection committee to go over any kind of request to remove materials. We have visited recently, I say within the last year, one of the things that we added is that you need to be a resident of Laredo.
Yes,
Because a lot of our groups that are from the outside, So you
Yes.
have to be a card
Good.
holder.
Right.
I mean, because who else but the community tells us what kind of standards we're using
Right.
to
And not
purchase
somebody
books,
coming
not
in.
somebody from the outside, and that's what they were doing. They were targeting, and I would see it on some of the emails, some of the other libraries would say, it's like, did you get a visit from the so-and-so, or did you get a, and that's what they were doing. They were going, but we
Yeah.
do have a process, it's been in place, we have reviewed it recently and added that one.
Good, I
Thing.
would just request that it be something maybe just as an item that it's been reviewed with all of our branches and
Mhm.
requests and how do you take that in? What happens, questions as far as relative to how do we determine what kind of books we purchase,
Mhm.
right? All those things, because I know, speaking of what you just said about the public schools, yeah, I approve so much money every year for the purchase of library books, and I'm sure that, one of the things I just told my librarian is to ensure that we're not purchasing some titles that are going to get taken down, because it'd be a waste of money.
It
You know?
is, but it's kind of sad too.
It is sad,
Mhm.
it is sad, but that's the impact that
but
it's having,
it-
as long as I'm in a public school.
But there's some libraries out there, I think New York Public is one of them, they'll give anybody a card for their e-collection. So if you can't get it, you can find it. And
Yeah.
most of the books are available online already.
Yes, they are, and that's the part that does get me, because I did look here in one of the programs, it's the banned book club,
Mhm.
right? And of
Yeah.
course, there are titles there that, they're classics.
They're classic.
They're classics of American literature.
And, and
Mockingbird was one.
there's place, if you tell a
Yeah.
teenager
Of
you
Mice
can't
and
read
Men.
that.
To Kill a Mockingbird was one.
Yeah.
Oh, I just read
and
that
that's
one.
been
Yeah.
called
I
the
just
best
read
piece of
The
American
best,
literature
Best.
of all time, up to date.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
by the Library National
Yeah, but
Association.
it's because
And that's,
it's
I
a
think
black
it's,
man,
Mhm.
black man.
Mhm.
I think that, I don't know, I don't know, again, I don't wanna get political or anything, I think that some of the public needs to know what kind of books they're asking about,
Mhm.
right? Because
Robert, you
again,
don't
I
wanna
think,
get political, but it is political.
I know,
It
but as a
is.
committee,
And
we're
it's-
still,
And it's very unfortunate and
it
very
is
sad. That we're
incredibly
going back
sad.
to,
Yeah.
like the Salem witch hunts, I'm sorry.
No,
Salem.
yeah.
Yes.
But that's what it feels like.
It does, and that's my point, is that, it seems history repeating itself, and again, I know I'm trying not to, it's a fine line that I'm on, I understand, and I know this is recorded, people can view it, I get it, but this is how a lot of the things began historically,
Yes.
with burning and banning of books,
Uh-huh.
and it just led to a lot of
I
other
know.
mess.
But I think
Yeah.
what, something that I've been reading
Yes.
also is, there is a procedure in place, but what happens is people get worried about their position, their jobs as a principal or as a librarian.
Sure.
So before we go through the procedure, we go ahead and take out the books to eliminate that pressure.
Mhm.
And we don't confront them saying, why do you want to do this? I think, are you a resident? Have you read the book? Why do you? By
Exactly.
the time
Those
you
are the
confront them,
questions.
they may
Yeah.
back down a little bit. We're not just jumping the gun,
And don't get
removing the
intimidated
books.
by their,
Yes.
by their request.
You know,
But it
Do
is
the
very sad.
Laredo City libraries have a mission statement, either by council or directives by the city manager? And the reason I ask is because perhaps they need to be reviewed and retooled so that when there's a request, whatever the committee recommends is consistent with that mission
We
statement.
do have a mission, if you go online, it's in our policy, it's part of our policy. And I believe it's been less than a year that we brought we usually bring them every 2 years. That doesn't mean that we're not, adding to it, as needed.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Mrs. Rodriguez.
Go ahead, Ms.
My apologies, it's because I need to have another meeting in 6, so my apologies.
Thank
Okay,
you,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
But, we've reviewed
There's
it
a
and we
procedure to
do,
follow.
yeah,
You know,
we do
don't
have a
just
procedure.
automatically say,
And
let's go
what you
ahead.
mentioned, that's in the form when you fill out did you read it? What are you opposed to it? Do you have a library card? Just to make sure, and then we'll set up the committee.
yeah, we
that
have a little
reviews
bit
it.
more time than the schools, you know, the schools will get panicky a little bit. Instead of confronting them, we go ahead and automatically do it. But in some cases, if I read correctly, Spring Branch ISD, was doing away with librarians.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's
Oh,
been
yes.
done in
Counselors
Houston.
Yes.
and not having
Houston's
libraries.
doing that, that
Oh,
was on the
that's-
district that was taken over by the,
Yes.
by the state.
You don't have money.
That was one of the things they were taking over. Yeah, that happened in Houston, I used to.
Yes.
And aren't you requiring the vendors to rate the books?
Before.
That's what the
Before.
governor's trying to actually,
And
replace.
you know, some of the vendors we do business, it's like, we're just not gonna do business in Texas.
Exactly,
It's
yes,
like
that's
with
true.
school, like,
Yeah. Mhm.
that's what
So
it's-
the vision of the Laredo Public Library is dedicated to providing an environment to increase the literacy and educational level of all Webb County citizens in order to raise the equality of life and standards of living. And then the mission statement is, the mission of the Laredo Public Library is to promote resources and services to meet the informational, educational, and professional and recreational needs of all Webb County residents.
it's very wrong.
Yeah.
Very
But,
proud.
you know,
Who's responsible for review and possible revisions?
the librarians do that.
So it's individual
It-
per
within-
library?
within- For the library.
No, it's the whole library as a
whole
whole.
library.
We have when we're getting ready to review it and make sure we're still covering everything.
Because what I would suggest is adding language to the effect of, part of the mission is to increase access to resources not otherwise available. So that if the committee makes a determination that there are no other resources, if, in other words, if your
This is
issue
only
is this,
available here.
Well,
and this resource is only available through this venue,
like
that's
an
our,
open
that's our
source.
purpose,
Like-
that's our purpose.
Oh, yeah, like
So to increase access to information and education not otherwise available to city residents or something to that effect.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does, but you can go buy it.
Well, that,
No, but
that's
they
the
can
one, you
choose
can
not
get
to
it
take it,
online.
But
Yeah,
the
no,
purpose
that's
of the
a-
library
that's
is
a
that there's no
point.
charge.
Right, the point is we need to have books available.
So it's
for
access
people that
to, so
cannot
if
buy
I
for that.
have, if a person is low income or,
Yeah.
then they're not gonna have access to other than the public library. Yeah.
That's right.
Some of those, and again, political, you know, the people that are complaining or something, you know, if it's because my child should not have access to that, have you checked your child's iPhone? It's probably in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's the
he
whole
can
thing.
get it
That's
if
what
he
I get
really
mad at.
wants
It's
it.
like,
It's
they're okay
available
with this.
online.
That and more
But
hours.
they're,
Yes, you know, people, even if they have the computer at school, a friend of mine was subbing the other day, and this is first grade, and they all have their computers, and when they went out for lunch, she was checking their computers, they had accessed some sites that they shouldn't have. So she had to take 2 or 3 out of the classroom to an administrator and say, look at what they
They
have
were
on their
looking at,
computer
yeah.
at school.
It's hard to
And yet you're
control.
complaining about a
Oh,
book
yes.
in the
No, you
library.
can't control.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's look at the whole
I've
big
seen that.
picture.
Yeah.
You can always say that when they come at you.
well, I think
It's the hill I'll die
I
on.
think Judge Vidal makes a good point. I think we should maybe look at that, including that kind of language in there.
Yes.
To look at the.
And what we normally do is look at other libraries to see how they're handling it. Also, so.
Well, any other item for discussion and possible action for next time or schedule?
Did you wanna, our collection development policy brought forward?
Yeah, that would be maybe so we can review it and see what it says, and so we can have knowledge of it, right, as well. I know it's been a couple of years, I think, since I last kind of looked at that.
Just specifically on that, yes. I think
Yes.
it's been a year for the whole policy, and that's a lot too.
Right, just so we can just be up to date on it, because apparently it's already getting close to home, down in the valley. It's already, it's already happening, so, and I'm sure sooner or later, right?
Yeah.
And it says there, well, anyway, that they haven't removed anything, but the pastor, Garfield, that's his name, threatened to sue.
And he's local.
And he's local?
They're residents.
Or are they from my
Brownsville,
Yeah, because that's what we were seeing.
Yeah.
These
God
groups
bless.
would just
coming.
randomly
Yeah, he's-
challenge.
Aaron Harlingen, yeah, he's local.
It is.
Okay. Any other item for next time?
Anybody wants to request an item for information or clarification?
Next meeting?
When is the next meeting? September
25th, I have.
25th?
Yeah.
Oh, the 20, oh,
All right, September 25th. Alrighty.
Five?
Yes, 5, correct? Yes,
5 o'clock.
5.
Yes.
We have a motion for adjournment.
I saw.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Like that.
We have a second. All those in favor? to adjourn?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, meeting is adjourned.
Wait, before, okay.